What's your take? Did Canelo's elbow play a role in the loss? And should he go straight into a rematch once he's healthy? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more boxing news, tap the bell for instant updates, and share this with a friend who follows Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Reports on Monday confirmed that Canelo Alvarez will undergo surgery to repair an elbow injury, just over 2 weeks after his high-profile defeat to Terence Crawford. The timing immediately raised two big questions across boxing. Did the injury affect Canelo's performance on fight night, and what does recovery mean for a potential rematch between two of the sport's biggest stars? In their September 13th bout, Crawford won a unanimous decision over Alvarez, sweeping the scorecards and taking all four of the Mexican superstar's super middleweight titles at 168 pounds. It was the kind of result that changes the sport's landscape, reshuffling pound-for-pound rankings and igniting debate about where each man stands in boxing history. What remains unclear is when, exactly, the elbow issue became a problem. Was Alvarez managing it during camp, or did something worsen in the ring? Given the grind of a top-level training camp, sparring, mitt work, strength sessions, it's plausible the injury predated the opening bell. No fighter arrives at 100%, but an elbow problem can sap snap from the jab, limit combinations, and blunt power shots, all areas where observers felt Canelo looked a shade muted compared to his best nights. If you're worried this news derails a Crawford-Alvarez 2, the timeline may actually do the opposite. Before the surgery update, Canelo's next opponent for February hadn't been named, but Crawford was the most realistic option given the scale and success of their first meeting. From Team Crawford's side, there's been no push to jump straight back into camp. Trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre told Fight Hub TV that Crawford plans to take the rest of the year off to rest and be with family. That's consistent with his rhythm since 2019, roughly one fight per year, often in the back half, November or December. Match that pattern with Alvarez's recovery window and you have a workable path toward both men returning around the same time. Instead of forcing a quick turnaround, the surgery simply resets the clock, creating room for a cleaner build and a healthier fighter on each side. A rematch in late 2026 remains firmly in play, and the added runway could make the sequel even more competitive. For Alvarez, the speculation is straightforward. An elbow that isn't right can change the fight you can fight. Reduced output, fewer body hooks, less confidence letting the right hand go. Fans saw elements of that in stretches of the Crawford bout. None of it takes credit away from Crawford, who executed a disciplined game plan and controlled the tempo. But it does offer a plausible explanation for why Canelo didn't find his usual gears, particularly in the middle rounds where he typically turns momentum. For Crawford, the calculus is different but just as strategic. He already secured the undisputed win at super middleweight and did so with authority. There's no incentive to rush. The longer ramp serves him too. More time to bulk correctly for 168, maintain sharpness without overuse, and return for a second fight that can set new pay-per-view marks. If the first event shook up the pound-for-pound debate, a rematch with both men fully reset would be one of the defining nights of 2026. Financially and competitively, the rematch makes sense. The first fight delivered global attention and a clear narrative, the great technician conquering a proven champion at a higher weight. The second would come with fresh intrigue, Canelo post-surgery, Crawford reaffirming his dominance at 168, and both teams adjusting to what they learned in September. Stylistically, the tweaks are obvious. Alvarez would need to raise his volume, target the body earlier, and cut the ring more consistently. Crawford would look to maintain angles, win the jab battle, and keep exchanges on his terms. Right now, the practical focus is Alvarez's health. Surgery and rehab aren't storylines, they're necessities. Once he clears recovery milestones and returns to mitts, fans and media will get a better sense of timing. Until then, the most sensible reading is this: the injury didn't end the Crawford-Alvarez rivalry. It likely prolonged it, giving both champions time to reset and come back to the super middleweight spotlight at full strength. If you're mapping the road ahead, it looks something like this. Alvarez undergoes elbow surgery and works through rehabilitation. Crawford enjoys the rest of the year with his family, then ramps up once a fight date is realistic. Promotional talks reopen when Alvarez doctors green-light hard training. The business side takes care of itself because this is one of boxing's biggest events on paper. Titles, legacy, and pound-for-pound status all on the line again. Bottom line, rather than complicating the rematch, Alvarez's injury may ultimately make it better. A healthy Canelo, a rested Crawford, and a two-fight series that could define the super middleweight era. The first chapter reshaped the conversation, the second could cement it. Do you want the rematch next, or should both fighters take 2 new PS first? Tell us below. Make sure you're subscribed for breaking boxing news, hit the bell so you don't miss the latest on Canelo Alvarez surgery and Terence Crawford's plans, and share this with someone already arguing about the pound-for-pound list.